Cary Grant would be like George Clooney times 1,000. Times 1,000, not 100, 1,000. Okay? So, Swifty Lazar spent 6 years of his life signing Cary Grant. And on the day of their contract signing, he goes into his office. Right? No email now. Goes into his office, signs his contract. Signs the contract, Cary Grant's ready to leave. Cary Grant gets to the door, puts his hand on the door, opens it, and says, Mr. Lazar, hand on the door, Mr. Lazar, before I leave, I just have one last question for you. Are you Jewish? To which Mr. Lazar was reported to have said, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'll be whatever you want me to be if you be my client. Interesting story about the entertainment industry and who you have to become times in a career and what you're asked of to do. So I arrive in Hollywood on September 16, 1977. Not one of you are born. What year were you born, sister? 1990. 1990? Now, tell me your first name one more time.
Maeve.
Maeve?
Yeah.
M-A-V?
M-A-E-V.
M-A-V. Maeve? Maeve was, I got socks older than Maeve. I got neckties older than you. Alright, so I arrived September 16, 1977. No job, no money, no education, no parenting. Did I mention that I was scared and skinny? But I was motivated. And off I went, and somehow I fell upon, now, who the hell's going to hire me? No one! No one! So I got to make a job. I can't apply for a job, I got to invent a job. I got to create a job. And I did, and I started this PR firm. Now I don't know what I'm doing, which is a problem to start a PR firm and not know what you're doing. But I did. And I figured it out along the way. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of you want to make history in the music industry. How many of you here want to make history? Raise your hand if you want to make history. That's a lot. Now, not only you're going to make history, but some of you will. Now, I don't know who the ones that are going to make history and who aren't, but let me tell you about, I can tell you this for sure. I'm going to tell you how the people who are going to make history are going to do it. Did you find that of any interest? Would you like to know about how the people who we can't determine in this room tonight are going to make history? Would you like to know that? Would you like to write it down? Okay, I'll be happy to tell you. You ready? You want to write it down, son? There you go. Here's how you're going to do it. Ready? Somehow. That's how you're going to do it. Somehow. You're going to do it the same damn way I did it. Somehow. You're going to do it through the front door, the back door, the side door, the chimney. Somehow you're going to do it. And the people in this room that understand what I'm saying emotionally and spiritually, I don't have to wish them good luck, because they're going to do just fine. The people who find my answer kind of confusing or even annoying, I don't need to wish them good luck, because good luck's not going to help them. Somehow. Now, people are interesting creatures in a lot of ways, and one of the ways they're most interesting is they see the world. They see the world from the prism, the perspective of their own life, their own experiences, right? Their own traumas. They see the world. You see the world. You see the world through your own experiences, your own growing up. Where'd you grow up?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Where'd you grow up?
See.
See the world through your own experiences. Now, I'm the same way. I see the world through my own experiences. What did I confess to you about my mother? She was an... Come on. Wake up. What was she?
Alcoholic.
Okay. She was an alcoholic. So, I see the world through my own experiences. I know a little something about the subject of addiction. How many people in this room have any experience, personal, friend, parental, family member? How many people in this room have any experience with addiction? Raise your hand. A lot of people. A lot of people. Give me an example, if you would, please, of a very, very intense or significant addiction. What would be something very significant addiction? Come on, go. Give me something. Yeah.
I was addicted to meth.
Meth. Okay. Heroin? Is that pretty serious? Yeah. What would a junkie do to get dope? What would a junkie do to get dope? Anything. What do you think? Come on, you're smart. What do you think a junkie would do to get dope? Anything. That's a pretty good answer. They do anything. Would they steal?
Yeah.
They'd steal? Would they lie? Would they cheat? Would they hurt somebody? Would they hurt a family member? Would they do that? Yeah. Anything? Yeah. Anything. Every one of the super successful people that I worked with had three qualities that defined who they were. And I came to conclude over a long period of time that if you want to be super successful, you must have these three qualities. And if you do not have all three of these qualities, you cannot be super successful. Now, you can be successful, you can live a pleasant life, you can have a home, you can have lovely 3 meals a day, but these three qualities are the ingredients to super success. And that's what I've come here to talk to you about tonight, these three qualities. May I share them with you? Great. 1, obsession. A burning, maniacal rage as if your life depended on it. Did you hear me? A burning, maniacal rage. Like a junkie looking for dope. An obsession, a burning, maniacal rage. As if your life depended on it. Not ambition, something bigger, deeper, more primal, and intense, like your life depended on it. Every one of the super successful people that I represented had that quality. It was called obsession. They figured it out some way. Through the front door, the back door, the side door, the chimney. They didn't give up. It was a burning, maniacal rage as if their life depended on it. There is no one in any industry that you respect that is at the top of their field, whatever your field might be, whatever field interests you. If it's fashion or politics or sports or ballet or opera or rap music, book writing, there is no one, not one single individual that you honor, respect, and love that doesn't have an obsession, a burning maniacal rage as if their life is over. Number 2, optimism. It's optimism. It's a paradoxical version of optimism. And maybe to understand that a little better, who here has do any of you feel like you have a modest understanding of what paradox means? Would you raise your hand if you feel you have a modest understanding of paradox? You want to take a shot at it? Go ahead. What's your name?
It's Dave.
Brother Dave. Go. What's
Paradox.
a modest? Yeah.
Something that contradicts itself.
Okay, cool. That's pretty good. How about you, son? Did you want to raise your hand? Someone did. Back there now? Okay, Joe, what's a modest understanding or definition of
Counterintuitive.
counterintuitive? Okay, cool. Both good. Excellent. Anyone else want to take a shot? How about a girl? Lady, want to take a shot at paradox? No? You want to take one? Go ahead. What's paradox mean?
It's like contradicting ideas or like apply to the same thing.
Perfect. Contradictory ideas apply to the same thing. So, for example, love is joyful. And love is painful. Both are true. They seem so at odds with each other, and yet both are true. Now, by the way, before I continue along, let me suggest to you that if you're sitting in this room right now, and you don't have what you believe to be a comfortable understanding of paradox, I would encourage you in the next 24 hours to look it up. And here's why. Because there is no great subject that you will want to know more about in the world that is not rich in paradox. All great subjects have a lot of paradoxical components. So you can learn a lot of subjects in this world without knowing anything about paradox. You learn how to make a Chinese chicken salad. You learn how to speak Greek. But you can't learn anything great or significant without understanding paradox. If you want to know anything about love or pain or fear or sorrow or joy or death or God, you better get pretty comfortable with that, with the concept of paradox. So I'd encourage you, if you are, to do that. So the optimism that our super successful friends had was a paradoxical version in this way. It was not optimism that was naive. It wasn't that kind of optimism. It was a different kind of optimism. It was an optimism born after a militant need. It was an optimism born or created after a militant need to face the brutal facts. It was an let's do it one more time. It was an optimism born, created after a militant need to face the brutal facts. And here were the two brutal facts that our super successful friends found when they peered into the face of life or destiny. Number one, they found that the game is not easy. The game is not easy. Number two, that the game is not fair. The game is not easy, and the game is not fair. However, with enough burning, maniacal rage, enough focus, enough intensity, the game was winnable. Though not easy, though not fair. The game was winnable, though not easy and though not fair. Optimism. A realization that the world, that the game, the world, is not easy, it's not fair. But with enough focus, enough intensity, enough dedication, the game is winnable. The number one, if you want to be poor in America, this is what I say to when I speak publicly. This is important thought. Any of you want to be poor in America? I'm going to tell you the number one rule. You want to be poor? I'll tell you how to do it. You want to be broke? Here's how you do it. If you want to be broke in America, here's what you do. You adopt an attitude of a victim. That's how you get broke in America. You want to get broke? You like sleeping in rooms without air conditioning? You like walking? The number one thing you got to do if you want to be broke in America is think like a victim. That's it. Okay, so the first was obsession. The second was optimism. The third was a sense of obligation. A sense of weird, wacky relationship with responsibility. Our super successful friends had a deep commitment to keep their word, principally to themselves. Our super successful friends had a deep commitment to keep their word, principally to themselves. They created goals for themselves that were measurable and discernible. Here's what they didn't say, and here's what they did say. They didn't say, you know, next year I want to lose some weight. They didn't say that. They said, next year, by July 4th, I want to lose 8 pounds. Do you get the difference? And they often announce the goals in writing to others. Goals that were measurable, discernible, written, shared. Time-specific. They had a strong relationship with commitment to their word, principally to themselves. On the rare occasion that they did not keep their promise, who was it that our super successful friends blamed or held responsible? Who? Themselves. Talk about weirdos in our culture. Did they blame traffic? Did they blame Bush or Cheney or Obama or Oprah or the girls on Sex and the City or men or Hollywood or their dad or me? They did blame. No, they blamed themselves. They said, no. It was my fault. That was my... See, when they said Wednesday, I'll do something Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, they didn't mean Thursday at 9:15. They meant Wednesday at 10. And on the rare occasion they didn't make their goal for whatever reason, it was they who they felt was responsible. So the third magic O was obligation. The first was obsession. The second was optimism. And the third is obligation. And remember, it's a weird, wacky relationship with responsibility. A commitment to keep their word principally to themselves. And the third magic O, obligation, brings me to our only homework assignment of the evening. I'm going to give you a homework assignment. It's voluntary. It's the best kind of homework assignment because you don't have to do it. It's voluntary. Let me tell you a little bit about it if you choose to do it. Some of you will and some of you won't, but let me tell you a little bit about it. First of all, if you choose to do it, it's a homework assignment that you can do in the next 24 hours. You can do it in 10 minutes or less, and you can do it for free. That's pretty good, right? So you can do this homework assignment in the next 24 hours, in 10 minutes or less, and you can do it for free. It's not too bad. Now, here's the good news about it. If you do this homework assignment, that I'm going to give you right now, that you can do in the next 24 hours in 10 minutes or less for free, I'm going to make you a guarantee 100% right now. Here's the guarantee. If you just do this one thing, it will change your life. It will change your life permanently, radically, and instantly. This one thing, 100%, you cannot lose. You cannot lose. 100%. Change your life permanently, radically, and instantly. Would you like to know what the homework assignment is? Yes? Come on, speak up.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, before I tell you what the homework assignment is, let me tell you another thing. You better find it. If some of you claim you don't want to be broke, you either better find rich parents, rich husband or wife, or get a lot more enthusiasm. Since you can't control some of that, I go for the enthusiasm. I'd raise my tempo a bit. You're a little sleepy for my taste. Ask yourself, would I hire you right now? I don't know. Since I don't know a lot of people placing ads in papers for sleepy folks, I don't know, maybe. Let's see what you decide. Anyway, here's your homework assignment. Ready? You can do it in the next 10 minutes. You can do it in the next 24 hours in 10 minutes or less for free. Here you go. You got to go home and you got to make a commitment. To fire your flaky friends. You got to go home in the next 24 hours and make a commitment to fire your flaky friends. Because nothing will interfere with your capacity to grow to your fullest and highest potential, like the second-hand fumes of flakiness. Did you hear me? You want me to say it again? Nothing will interfere with your capacity to reach your fullest and highest potential as much as the second-hand fumes of flakiness. What's your homework assignment?
Go home and fire your ugly friends.
You feel you understand that? I wish I could say it in one year. I don't know how to say that. Fire. Now, a couple more things, and then we're going to open up to the fun part. That's the questions, comments, suggestions, and alternative speeches. You ready? Number one. Any damn fool with a plan beats a wandering genius 100 times out of 100. In the next 48 hours, you're going to meet a lot of damn fools. Particularly if you go into a couple of national chain stores like Home Depot, Verizon store. But in the next 48 hours, you're going to meet a lot of damn fools. And let me tell you something, son. They're going to kick your ass if they got a plan and you don't. Did you hear me? A damn fool with a plan beats a wandering genius 100 times out of 100. You heard me? I'll tell you another thing that you need to know about the music business. Ready? Lazy marketers have skinny kids. Did you hear me? Lazy marketers have skinny kids. You understand what I'm saying? What's your name?
Julie?
Sister Julie, do you understand what I'm saying? If you don't, just say no. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Anyone help her? Let's help Julie. Lazy marketers and skinny kids. What does that mean? Don't know. Okay, cool. Don't know? Good.
Is it making money and your kids won't eat?
Yeah. Say it again.
If you're lazy at making money, your kids won't eat.
If you're lazy at marketing, your kids aren't going to eat a lot of money. Lazy marketers have skinny kids. Right? I'll tell you another thing about rich people and poor people. You want to know the difference between them? Poor people have big TVs. Rich people have big libraries. Did you hear me? Rich people have big libraries. Poor people have big TVs. You hear me? Okay. Cool. All right. So let's go to the fun part. That's the part where you get to debate or challenge or ask a question or make a comment or tell me some story you want to tell me or whatever. Something we're talking about tonight maybe or something it relates to. But now, one more thing. We'll open up for questions. You know, guys, if I were sitting in this room right now, I'd be shy. I would. It's very human to be shy. I wouldn't ask a question. I'd be too scared. So it's very normal to be shy. But for the next 10 minutes, if you'd be willing to try to just kind of overcome your shyness, just for about 10 minutes, kind of heroically pretend for 10 minutes you're not shy, even though you are, and it's very human to be shy, then we can have some, I hope, interesting opportunities to touch magic and believe in maybe a thought or an idea. It might be one to think about again, that we live beyond this moment of togetherness, that somehow tomorrow or next week you're out with a friend discussing something we talked about. That could be interesting. More lasting. So, who wants to? Joe, I'm going to have to call on one of Dr. Hartman's, Professor Hartman's students first, but we'll get to you. What's your name, son?
Johnny?
Brother Johnny.
I have a question. We've been talking a lot about how the internet has changed music. How has the internet changed public relations, and how do you adjust it to online blogs and stuff like that?
Great question. First, let's talk about technology in this way, or in two ways. So, in many ways, technology's changed everything, hasn't it? Huh? But in some ways, it's changed nothing. That sounds odd. All of you, if I said to you, do you all think that technology's changed everything? You'd all raise your hand. If I said, who do you think has said it's changed nothing? Nobody raised their hand. So what the hell am I talking about? How's it changed nothing? What do you mean? Let me tell you what's not changed. Write it down. Here's how it's not changed a damn thing. Hasn't changed a thing. Not going to either. Human nature. Son, you got an iPhone? Your grandfather didn't? But you have the same damn human nature he did. Human nature. Didn't change a thing. So, the conversation that changed everything. You could talk for 20 minutes about it. You could write a paper on it. That's cool. But you only got half the story. The other half of the stories didn't change a damn thing. You better get in touch with that. Particularly as young people for whom technology is so relevant. Change a damn thing. So, if you find yourself unfamiliar, uncomfortable, uneasy with the part of my comment that didn't change anything, that's where you need to work. That's where you need to go and hang out and think about. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now we did it. That's a guy. Okay, let's do you. What's your name?
My name's Andre.
And what's, I can't quite see, just the shadow. What is your hat say?
It's for the San Francisco Giants.
I can't hear. San Francisco Giants, cool.
My question is, are you like a big
What's your
reader?
first name?
Andre?
Andre, yeah.
Are you a big reader and have you always read like a lot of books in your spare time?
Well, am I a big reader? I am now, but not particularly. Remember, I wasn't a good reader because I was ever so slightly dyslexic. I happen to be actually, as it happens, a better auditory reader, and so I listen to a lot of books on tape. But, you know, I do read a lot, and frankly, I read more slowly than some, and I have to do it with the yellow highlighter, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Julie?
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Who do you enjoy representing more political figures or non-political figures?
Who do I enjoy representing more? You know, it's Julie, I enjoy representing the person I'm representing at the time I'm representing. Because I throw my whole self into that endeavor at the time. So it'd be, you know, I don't know how to give it a comparison or something. Which was your favorite boyfriend? Whoever you had at the time was your favorite. You enjoyed that one at the time, and this one at that time, and so forth. I throw myself into the endeavor fully, which is why I'm concerned about some of the kind of sleepy sense of some of the people in this room. Now, I don't expect you to jump around like nutty people. As listeners, I know that. But there's a kind of, guys, I got to convert you to a more enthusiastic way of being in the world, whatever it is that you're passionate about, because the world will reverberate not one bit more or less passion than you send out. It's true. Okay, did I answer your question, Sister Julie?
Yes.
All right, who wants to go next? Yes, what's your name?
Cody.
By the way, you're doing fantastic on asking questions, even, you know, being shy. It's great. You're very participatory, so that's cool. Cody.
Yeah, so Professor Hartman brought up a point about how a lot of people he managed had big egos,
Yes.
which led them to think that they're never wrong and it was never their fault.
Correct.
And then you addressed the point where people hold themselves accountable,
Yes.
and I understand both sides, and I see how both can be true, and it's paradoxical.
Paradoxically.
Do you think that?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Paradoxically?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you think that what he's addressing would be a side effect of once you already are successful, then develop an ego, and then?
No, I think Professor Hartman's talking about something very fascinating in super successful people. I don't know if he used these words, I didn't hear his comments, but this is what I think he's referring to, and it is fascinating. The unbelievable sense of super successful people, music industry, you can read about the Beatles. The unbelievable sense at with great youth, and their feelings of inevitability that it was going to happen, that were going to be big. This destiny, this ego, this sense that, of course I'm going to be big. If you had talked to the Beatles at age 35, and you said to John or Paul, God, fellas, did you have any idea, any faint possible notion that this could happen? Who could have thought? Yeah, we knew it. Are you crazy? Maybe. No, we knew it. It was inevitable. It was a sense of, he's talking about that cockiness, that belief. Bob Dylan. You knew it. Come on. How could you know it? What are you, crazy? Maybe. That's, I think, what he's on the outer edge. It's just, how could you be so sure? And when you relate to those super successful people, you realize they're not fully normal. They're odd, they're brilliant, they're self-destructive. They're not like regular people fully. That they are It's as if they made a deal with destiny that mortals don't fully understand. So I know I'm being not 100% clear because it's not fully clear. They just knew. They were going places that we couldn't imagine, and they were going there with a sense of certainty and destiny, as if the roadmap. We weren't so gifted with such a roadmap. But I did also have a sense that something could happen for me that made no sense. There was no logical way that I could be here with you tonight, or have written books, or represented 58 Academy Awards. Logic simply, it's impossible. How could it happen? Yes, ma'am.
So
What's your first name?
Nicole.
Okay, Nicole, let it rip.
So you mentioned the 3 qualities of being successful.
I did.
And with hearing your story of how you didn't have a great upbringing, which is like similar to mine,
Yes.
but now you have such a successful company, firm, and a very respectable reputation. So overcoming all of those challenges and stuff like that, like what other tools did you use?
This is a great point. Tell me your first name one more time.
Nicole.
Can I take on your point? Write this down if you care to. Ready? 2 words. Let's try it together. Wounding incident. Wounding incident. Who of you in this room saw the movie Social Network? What was that movie about? I can't hear.
He was trying to get back his ex-girlfriend, wasn't
It was about a character named Mark Zuckerberg. He founded. When was the beginning piece to the story?